house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping, nasty, natty, yeah, we live it. Lit the crowd, hit the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the pounce, make the city howl. Now we feasting now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on them. Stripes, Cincinnati, we gon' rise in in the jungle, we unite in dripping orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move, I can Now who wanna move, crossing Now who wanna move,
Welcome to another episode of Bengals and Brews. I am Del Altman, joined by my co-host, Derek Davis, the Orange Arrow. He's finally on the show, everyone. How you doing, Derek?
What's going on, everybody? How is everybody on this beautiful Victory Friday?
Well, number one, what are you cracking open just there? You can't crack it open and then leave the people without knowing.
I'm not cracking anything open. That's a new sound I just inputted into our system there. I thought it was pretty cool, so I had to put it on there. But made you think, you know?
You did a fake can opening sound? Anyways, I've got ice cold, delicious Miller Lite here. We are joined
I've got some New Riff. That's what I'm sipping on. New Riff bourbon, straight out of Kentucky.
Now, do you want to introduce our guest tonight?
Oh, do we have a guest? Hey, listen, this is none other than one of our best friends that we finally got to meet face to face and give a big old bear hug to. Tyler Minerding, everybody, aka TikTok Tyler.
Woo woo! You gonna bring him on, Derek, or you just gonna leave him?
Are you bringing him on, or?
It's an easy show if I just stay in the background.
Yeah. Hey,
what's going on, Tyler?
Oh, just enjoying Victory Friday. I can't wait to sleep in tomorrow. I'll tell you that because I didn't get much sleep last night, but really didn't need sleep today. Just riding that Bengals high all day. So.
Yeah, I was power napping before this show, so that's why I was literally got here with 2 minutes to spare. Hadn't checked anything. You know, I relied on Derek to have everything set up. Big mistake. Never do that again.
Hey, he relied on me to get everything set up, and I inputted a new beer opening thing.
Yeah, right. That's what you focused on, was having a can opening sound instead of making sure we had the Shayne Graham video from E&O. I believe this, so shout out to everybody that is in the chat. But yes, Iceman was feeling a certain type of way for anyone that ran into that man. I apologize for him.
Yeah.
I mean, right away, getting into the stadium, he's stumbling around, having to be held up before the game starts. I was like, oh God. I'm like, dude, you don't want to get kicked out of here. Yeah, Maddie was worried about him.
Has anybody done a wellness check on Jeff today?
Yes, he is.
Just real
alive.
quick recap. Yes, he called me. We talked. He is alive. He's not checked into the hospital or anything like that. He's alive and well.
Yeah, he had 27 delicious Jackpot Joey beers. We wanted to mention that to you, Maddie. Derek had some of those as well that he had picked up from the Eastgate Jungle Gyms after the movies last week. And he gave Clark Harris one when we ran into Clark before the game. So He didn't have it right in front of us. We just handed it to him. We were kind of, making our way around the stadium. So it was pretty cool that Clark Harris got a Jackpot Joey beer. Sure he enjoyed it.
I did something else too, if you just noticed in your ears. I was working on a couple other things, but
stupid
did you hear
stuff.
The stupid stuff that does not matter. One little bit is what I enjoy doing.
Stuff to annoy me. So our second guest here, Joe Streck. We have Travis in the background. I think he's gonna help get our video in, but I don't really know when he wants to do it or anything. Travis, if you feel like hopping on to kind of tell us when that should go, I know you're on your deathbed tonight. Travis had a really good time. At the game last night.
I finished off the night with Joe.
We seen Joe right after, and he was like,
I don't know how the fuck I got back to my place. I
Oh.
put a comment in here, but I think I drank enough alcohol that could drown a toddler.
You were talking nonsense at the end of the night. I mean, luckily your dad was there to keep an eye on you. Otherwise, I wouldn't have left you alone because I was worried about you finding your way.
Feeling froggy. I called him James, and I felt like the worst person in the world. I didn't black out.
What is with everyone is James? Like Marissa's called Greg James the last 2 weekends that she's ran into Greg. She has called him James.
Yeah.
Everyone is James.
No, I figured I can get this played in here real quick for you guys, and then you guys can have a good episode and such.
Well, this is kind of fantastic. Just Travis's eyes on the stream telling us about how drunk he was last night.
It's just like
kind of iconic.
Hey guys, things are rough.
But Travis, we ran into Joe. Literally, we ran into Joe. We finished our meal that we finally got served. That was a whole trash show in and of itself. We won't speak of.
What the meal at the end of the night?
Yeah. People in, and then they didn't serve us for 20 minutes. Then they told us the kitchen was closed and other people had their food who came in after us.
Right.
And the manager's like, well, I'll serve food. So then you're getting food that's probably been spit on or whatever because these people want to get out of there. Just all around terrible time there. But they did.
I could tell.
I waited.
I could tell that Joe was a little upset, and he was in a weird spot when I was standing out there waiting to get in, and they're yelling at me, and I'm yelling at them, and Joe was just like, "All right, I'm out of here."
Yeah, I saw you getting run over by the bus, and I just threw him the keys because I said, "Hey, these guys are with me," and they're like, "Well, if they're with you, then you can go out there with them." I'm like, just good. Kidding. I'm going to go back in here.
Well, they said you can go out there and not come back is what they told you.
Yeah,
they weren't happy. Joe, the reason why I sound like that is because I screamed more yesterday than I am in a very long time. I wanted the people on the field to hear me from like all the way at the top of the stadium.
They did.
I made sure that my voice was heard.
Yeah,
you got to take Jess's advice about screaming from your diaphragm and not screaming from your throat.
One of these days,
everybody
will figure that out because my voice is 100% feels great.
I'm great.
You know, I've learned from.
I am the best yeller from my diaphragm in the whole entire world.
No, Jess showed everybody how to do all that. And ever since I've watched or listened to her and how to do it and stuff like that, I haven't had a bad voice or anything like that. But
I don't want to keep.
Yeah, I was going to say, Travis, we know you're feeling like shit right now, so we won't keep you too much longer.
It was a great day. We'll talk about it later in the week, Travis, when you're feeling better and the voice is healed up.
It's honestly, I feel fine. I just don't want to try and have a conversation with my voice like this.
I understand. I've done it, and it sucked.
Bill didn't have a voice, like he didn't have a show, and he's like, "Yeah, we're going to do one the next day." And I'm like, I can't fucking talk, Dale. He's like, "Yeah, we're going live at 8:30 if you can join." And I was like, "How come you got a fucking day off? Haven't you lost your voice? Here I'm over here struggling." And he's like, "Oh well, sorry."
Hey, Travis, no, real quick, just one quick question: how does it feel to go to your first winning football game?
It was marvelous, and I actually rewatched the game today. And because had to, but it was a good rewatch, and I remembered a lot of good spots on there, and I had to rewatch that hit, which wasn't fun, but other than that, it was a splendid time, and I enjoyed it greatly, and it just so happened to record stadium attendance and everything, and I mean the sound was deafening in there. It was so fun. It was so loud. It was unreal. I mean, it was like I felt like I was truly a part of something, which I already know I kind of am, but like just the energy was it was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was great.
Well, now you can finally say, Travis, you're not bad luck for the team.
Yeah, no, I have to come back now because somebody didn't say hello to me.
That was by design.
Hey, Tyler finally came to say hello to me yesterday, and I've seen him like he's 1 aisle across, and I'm always like, Tyler, hey Tyler, and we'll wave back and forth, and then
Tyler, I thought I saw some picture of you like up in like a VIP box.
Oh,
somewhere.
He's Bet Fred.
You were like rubbing elbows with all
sorts of money.
I made it up there for a little bit.
I was doing research into that. I was like, "Is that Tyler in like a suite? What the hell? Like, what's Tyler doing in a suite? What?
Yeah, I think, what was it, Sarah Elise that posted a picture of you up there?
Yep.
She's like, yeah, here's Gary Owen and all these famous people and Tyler. I go, Tyler, I like you and everything, but dang.
And Gary Owen was up there? Tyler.
I didn't meet Gary.
That was the only I was going to say, I didn't run into him either. I was really hoping to. That was the one person that I didn't get to run into. But we'll talk about all this after Travis is off here. We want to get to our interview at E&O with Shayne Graham. We did the best we could with the sound. If Tony was there, I think things would have been a lot better. He probably had something going on, very busy man, their marketing manager. Maybe we'll have him on the show some other time. But if you sense some frustration on my part during that is because the music was loud. The microphone I had was not working. There was just it was a lot. First attempt at recording something live was not very fun.
Basically, is what you get from Bengals and Brews all the time.
If I'm not mistaken,
a total shit show.
The first words that Dale says, he's just screaming because there's music playing in the background.
Well, I said nothing like the whole time and let you guys run it, and then you're like, Dale, do you have anything to ask Shayne? And I was like, I just started bitching about how the music was loud.
You see real anger. You see real anger in his eyes. But also I have to say before I do play this thing, Bengal bombs are sick. The bomb squad tailgate is fucking sick. If you're going tailgating, go to them because they were welcoming as hell. I tried Skyline Chili for the first time in my life. It was tight. I enjoyed it. I was very shocked about that. Don't let Matt trick you into drinking Buffalo Trace.
Bengals and bourbon is Bengals and bourbon for a reason, man.
Yeah.
And before that, I didn't even realize it. Bengalian, it just wants to, because I was over at Jim's at first, because I just found I was walking down the street and saw this thing. I was like, cool. And there's this, he pulls out he takes me on the bus, grabs this bottle because he wants to kill it off with me for some reason. This thing's like 60-something proof or something of that nature. And here we are just slamming. I don't even remember what it was. It was stupid. I was like, oh God, I'm not going to be good. I had a cheeseburger. What was that? I'm dead. I'm going to die. Yeah, but when we get another show up here and such, I'll talk more about my experience. But now we're going to play the interview, some highlight clips, videos and such from the tailgating process and photos that everybody took together and separate and such. So I'm going to get everybody off the screen here.
Yeah, stick around though, because we will do a recap show minus Travis when this is done playing, guys.
Yeah, I'm going to take everybody off the screen here and then it will play. So just give me one quick second. Bye, Joe. Bye, Dale. Bye, Tyler. Bye, Derek. Hello, that's me.
Live from E&O, game day, Dolphins versus the Bengals. Everybody, round of applause for showing up. We got it together. A little bit of music. Everybody in the background watching us. We have a live show here for the first time. And more importantly, we have a special guest, Shayne Graham, everybody. Round of applause for Shayne Graham. Oh, we have a beer delivery too. Look at that. Oh, it is great. It is a fabulous day out here. Shayne, big Thursday night football game here. What are you expecting to see?
I'm expecting to see a win, but I'd like to see the offense have a lot of efficiency and the defense continue to put pressure on the quarterback and make it easier for the offense to end up with 4 points on the game.
I like that. I think if we have Hendrickson in there one time, I think we might not see Tua because for some reason they played Tua last week after he was a little shook up. I found out it was his back too. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I thought it was his head.
But your back doesn't make you stumble after a big hit.
I thought that as well, but you know.
Or maybe shake your head after you get hit.
A little bit of shaky head there. Derek, what are you thinking?
Well, I was going to say, fuck the game. I'm here to talk to Shayne. Shayne, we was at the
get on it.
We was at the Ring of Honor event last night, and I was going to get your thoughts on that. What you think about the turnout? And, getting to see Big Willie up on the Ring of Honor now.
Well, I thought it was great that the Bengals are starting to pay a little more homage to some of their former players, giving guys the honor they're due.
You're in there soon.
Well, But I thought it was a great turnout. I thought for Willie, you know, he is like an icon for the city and the organization. And when I got there, you know, I bonded very quickly with Willie because he's just a great leader. And he was in the community. He was on the field doing great things and continues to do great things on different fields, working with a lot of players and in the community as well. So I think Willie's just special. Was a special teammate. He's a special person. But it was great to see the turnout of the people that came out to support him and the former players that came back to support him as well.
I like that. So you guys had a good time last night? I noticed that last night you had a couple special occasions that made you end up whitening your hair.
Yeah. Troy Blackburn asked me to wear white on my hair, on my head.
Subtle flex? Is that a subtle flex? Live subtle flex? Is that what we're seeing?
Live subtle flex. Oh, I got
Thanks for the fireworks effect over there. Appreciate that.
Yeah, he asked me to color my hair white and support the team. I'm like, hey, if Troy asks you to do something, you do it, right?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Sarah just told you you're pregnant.
So, do we have any, I know you had a very funny and very interesting story about Willie. Is that something you want to talk about on here, or you want to keep that one to yourself, or do you got any more interesting stories about Willie?
I don't need to add any personal things in there. I just remember, you know, when I first met Willie outside of just in the locker room was when we had a team dinner at the precinct, and he rented out the top of the whole restaurant and paid for the entire team's meal, which was not cheap. And he did that to get all the guys together and to start building a camaraderie. And this was a few weeks into the season after we had already kind of been playing together, and things weren't really going that great for us at the time. But all of a sudden, we just start putting wins together, and we made a run for the playoffs in 2003. We didn't quite get in, but you know that was the year that Chad Johnson guaranteed a victory over the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs, and we delivered. You know, and we had a great game, and we beat them. And it was just one of those things that you could just tell that team had the workings of something special in the makes. It just didn't come together yet, but over the next few years, that's when you had the 2004 push. That's when you had the 2005 run that we had. And, you know, having that, you know, really was a big part of that, and bringing the team together for that kind of chemistry.
He definitely was a team leader, to say the least. We can see it from the screens, and I'm sure you could see it in the locker room for sure. Yeah, you got any questions for Shayne? We're live.
I'm going to yell at the mic. It's so loud in here. Thanks for turning it down.
How are we going to kick that?
Whatever, we're done.
I love it. Yeah, we're here at E&O.
No, Shayne, it's good to meet you. One of my best friends. Obviously, everyone knows that by now.
Hey, whoa. You have Clark as your best friend? Look at this. All right, look at this. Hey, we're matching, all right? Where's your matching?
Well, I tried to make my Marissa took it all off. She said, no, what do you do? I want to know.
You really did?
I did the beard and everything. Can we get a live shot real quick? Bengals and bourbon real quick. Look how beautiful this is.
Hey, he brought the pink robe, the good luck pink robe.
Brought us luck last week.
I'm not going to wear it in the game, but we're going to wear it now.
I love to see it. I absolutely love to see it.
It's too hot.
And before we came here, he gave me a really nice bottle of bourbon, and also gave me a good pour of some good bourbon. So got the day started off right.
Good job. Got the good vibes flowing, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We want to do score predictions. I was just about to get to that. Hell yeah. We don't want to take any more time away because we got some drinking to do, for sure. We got a couple hours for the game, but you know I need a couple beers. You know, so all right, let's go around again. Let's bring back the old pink robe there. What's your prediction in the game?
Hey, dude, what's your score prediction, dude?
32-21 Bengals.
Okay.
All right, I like it. I'm going to go 27-21. The Bengals win. It's not even going to be that close. It'll come down. They'll score late. We're going to be up 2 scores most of the game.
That's a big win. That's a big win.
I'll say 21-7 Bengals. All field goals.
Okay, I'm going to go 28-24 Bengals, and it's going to come down to the wire, and our defense will play defense as they have been and really holding it down. They're going to make sure that they don't score.
I'm going to go 37-14. Get the fuck out of here.
Get out of here. All right, hey, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Clearly, we're doing big things for here. And round of applause, everybody, for the first live show we're going to have. We'll catch you guys on YouTube. See ya.
Man,
I'm going to clap for us.
That
was great.
Listen, we were all stressed out about the loudness of Eno. It actually turned out fantastic. I don't know about y'all, but I think it sounded great, looked great. Yeah. The whole thing was fantastic.
Yeah, great job, guys.
So, hey, right here, pat ourselves on the back.
And Travis, thank you for putting that all together today for us.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. And you know what? As I was watching it, I'm like, dude, you know what? I can't leave this. I gotta stay. Even if
that's the spirit.
I felt it come right through my body again, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go. What am I gonna do?
Absolutely. Hey, real quick
what
question
kind of beer
in the chat.
Drinking there tonight?
This is gonna
water.
Buffalo Trace.
This is gonna instant stress Dale out. But real quick question in the chat. Who wants us to keep doing stuff like this for every home game?
Also, I don't know if you guys understood when just that little clip side part of like us outside of the interview. There was a beer that I was drinking there. There was 3 shots from the fan one. There was another shot of a beer. Like there was alcohol flowing different.
You were drinking at every shot.
Single one.
He probably threw up a rainbow at the end of the night.
I have more videos of you, Travis, by the way.
Uh-oh.
At the end of the night?
No, this was at the tailgate, and you were talking. We were talking shit to my buddy, the Dolphins fan.
I got that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I told him, dude, because I didn't have anything in my stomach prior, and it was 1:30, and I sat down at the Holy Grail, and I got a burger, and I had 2 beers, and I told him, I was like, if I start buzzing a little bit, I can't unbuzz myself. It's donezo. And so once I started getting that buzz, I was like, all right, it's fucking 2 o'clock. We got kickoff in 6 hours. Let's see how this is going to go.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
That's a good time.
Overall, man, it was a great experience, and I'm so happy I got to go down there. Thank my dad again and everybody that was so welcoming to me and my father and my brother and such. It was awesome. I mean, I was walking down to the tailgates with Shayne Graham, and that was so sick.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and real quickly, Clark Harris, we were not hanging out with him the whole time. He was hanging out with his family, doing his own. We just happened to run into him and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, he was doing like a small, literal family tailgate. I think it's the area where his parents, I'm pretty sure that was his parents sitting there, Derek, but I wasn't going to be like, hey, are you Clark's parent? You know, they're just kind of sitting there chilling. He's throwing cornhole with his son and, you know, some of his other people in his family. He was just low-key chilling, but, you know, obviously it's enough to let us get a picture with him and talk to us for a few minutes. And
I was chill enough. I was chill enough to walk in there and said, "Hey, Clark, how's it going?" Dale was like, "Clark, oh my gosh, Clark!" He was all going crazy and everything. So.
Nope, total opposite, Derek. Total opposite. So you know, Travis, how it's okay. You said you're gonna keep walking, and you'll just kind of walk into him. He's just off to the side, whatever. So we're walking. Derek, I'm like, "There's Clark right there." You know, I said to Derek, "I'm like, there he is." And Derek goes, Clark! And I go, Derek, you have no fucking chill, do you? I'm like, none. Like, he's probably not wanting everyone to be like, hey, it's Clark Harris, everyone.
Hey, I didn't say Clark Harris. For all everybody knew, it could have been some other guy named Clark, right?
Clark Griswold.
Dude, that's so funny.
Not like he's super famous or anything, right?
But as I was trying to say before Derek so rudely interrupted me a second ago was that Clark Harris had, you know, his Super Bowl, like those white jackets on when he was first throwing cornhole, and then he took that off. He comes back over to us with his Bengals and Brews shirt that he had underneath on. So I'm like, well, this is freaking sweet. So as you could see in the photo, everyone, we got a picture with Clark Harris in that same style that Derek has on Bengals and Brews shirt. That was really awesome.
Yeah.
Did you guys talk about who else is wearing Bengals and Brews?
We'll let Derek talk about that because he said that.
Derek hooked that up.
Yeah, our boy Ted Karras, just happened to, in his post-game interviews, and I think walking into the stadium and everything, his game day fit was the Bengals and Brews T-shirt that we sent him. So that was pretty awesome to see too. Yeah,
it's similar to this orange one, but it don't have the block background. It's with the letters out that Joe helped us put together.
Yep. And thank you to Joe, absolutely, for putting all that together for us, because we are not literate enough to figure out, or that, I guess, tech savvy enough to figure all that stuff out.
Yeah, I just happen to have Photoshop, and you guys don't. But you're welcome.
We take any help we can get, Joe.
So I'm gonna steer this conversation into a little bit of game recap. So obviously, Travis's 7 million to 14 didn't come to fruition. My 7 million to 0 didn't come to fruition. There was a couple people that we was talking to here and there that got pretty close to the score prediction. But
was really close.
Yes, he was very close. Yeah. But what was your guys' thoughts all in all? Let's start out with the vibes of the whiteout. What do you guys think of the whiteout vibes?
We'll go down to Joe and then to Tyler that way.
It was the loudest I've heard the stadium. I mean, I don't know which one was louder. It reminded me of the Raiders playoff game from last year. I mean, it was deafening at times. Yeah. And my buddy that was with me, that's a Dolphins fan. we've been to, this is our 4th Bengals Dolphins game, and he was just looking around. He's like, yo, it's different this time. Because before, it'd be like 30-40% Dolphins fan or whoever the opposing fans were. And he's like, you guys showed up, and he was making comments about just like how great they did as far as the presentation, the lighting, and they really promoted it through social media as far as the wearing white, and I just thought they did an awesome job.
Yeah, I'm just gonna piggyback on that because I walked in the stadium and I was blown away with how much white there was. Like, everybody made it their job to wear as much white as they could. And it wasn't just like a white top. It was people wearing white pants, Derek painting his hair white. Just constant stuff like that. And it was just a sea of white. And I know there was Dolphins fans there rocking their aqua and orange, but I've seen a couple pictures from the broadcast, and you couldn't see any of that. It was just the white, just like soaked it all up and blended it all out. So, I mean, to everybody that like made it their mission last night to wear white, you did your part.
Sorry.
Get this. I wasn't gonna say
it. My bad deal.
Listen, I tried,
and then getting the Dolphins to burn 2 timeouts on what was it? It was in 3 plays, I think it was, or it was back-to-back plays. They called timeout, ran a play, called a timeout, and then ran another play. So that was impressive. I mean, Lord, my fiance just got her Apple Watch, which it'll tell you like decibel, whatever the decibel level is. And I kept poking her throughout the game. I was like, what'd we get there? And I know we hit 100 a couple times. So I'm not sure what it was at the playoff game. I think maybe 115-ish. But from what her watch picked up, it got up to 100. So that was, my ears were ringing last night when I went to bed.
Real quick, to answer Crip's thing, there were pom-poms, and I probably left with like 20 of them.
Everyone had one in their seat when you got there.
I just kept sticking them in my pocket. And it was like, I got back to the hotel and I was like, why do I have so many of these? It's so cool. That was also another great thing that they did was add those for everybody, just in case you didn't have white, you were able to at least fly white around. And seeing the videos at like rewatching the game, seeing people doing that with them, it was just a sea of moving white. I mean, it was like what Tyler said when you walked in, you were like, this is wild. And for me, of course, I've only been to a couple in my life, but when like as the game was going on and such, and you're getting the noise, and the noise is getting louder, and I mean it's getting intense at the end of the game, the interceptions. I mean, that first interception, that place absolutely between the first touchdown and the first interception, those 2 screams was just I wasn't screaming. I was like, oh my God, like this place is insane. Like there's got to be some sort of like level of like earthquake this loudness is getting right now. But it was a great time. And seeing the fans come together like that showed, and like I saw a video Zach was talking about, like all those fans, like we're doing it for them. Like this is because they're breaking records. Everybody came out in white. It was a sea of white in that building, and it really came out. What was that, Dale? Was that you almost did a joke, didn't you? You almost
no.
did.
I said mostly white because I only had the Jackpot Joey hat on, similar to Joe. We're both rocking those yesterday, so I did have white on, and I did my whole face and my whole beard. But then Marissa's like, "You're a freaking idiot, and you look so stupid," and she took it off of me on the way up from Eastgate to the game.
Shout out to Sarah coming in clutch with the
makeup remover.
Yeah. She did us all a solid. I'll just say that.
I tried to spray paint my hair, and I went through 2 cans of the white spray, and it just turned me blonde because I have such thick hair. It was terrible. But what about you, Dale?
I just thought electric atmosphere, electric environment. Everybody was fired up. There was good vibes. I don't know. You just such a good feeling. Even at that Steelers game, even though we didn't get the result we wanted, it felt very similar to that. Like everyone's just so happy. We're so happy with the way this team set it. We're so happy with the players that we're rooting for on our team. And, we got the result we wanted this time. It's unfortunate for Tua's injury, but I think that was negligent on the Dolphins' part to have him out there. So they're never going to admit it because it don't seem like they learned their lesson, and they're still talking like idiots. But whiteout-wise, it was awesome. Derek?
Yeah. Hey, real quick, I'm going to do this ahead of time.
So you're going to start at Wednesday and blow yourself, right, for a good 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I got a call from one of the guys from the Bengals today, and they just said that they was just talking about how awesome everything was today, or was last night. Everything looked great. He loved the white hair, but yeah, that's a real quick subtle flex to everybody.
So Troy Blackburn's phone caller man said, "Good job, Derek."
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it all looked great.
Flex.
It all looked great.
Big time on
the white, all white, everything, like the song that I've never heard until last night. But hey, everything looked great.
Do you want to tell us about Wednesday real quick? Get it out of your system now before we continue with game review.
I mean, I
you already brought it up to Shade.
Yeah.
Right away.
No, we met Troy Blackburn, Emily Parker, Kenny Anderson, Willie Anderson, Butch Hobson. There were so many people. Dan Hoard, Dave Lapham, so many people down there at the and like the little whore I am, I was dishing out Bengals and Brews koozies like I was Oprah, just giving them to all these people, saying, "Hey, come on our show, just freaking all the time." But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I heard you were slinging digits with Butch Hobson.
Yeah, Butch Hobson has my phone number, so we're going to.
You didn't get his. You didn't get his.
No, yeah, he has. I have his phone number too. He's
in there. I'll call you.
Butch Hobson. Yeah, exactly. He said, "Don't call me, I'll call you." But no, it was great. He said he'd come on as long as we don't make fun of him too much. So we'll do our best.
So he's not coming on though.
Well, if he's seen any of our shows, he knows it's all out of love. But yeah, it was great. It was a fun time. Drinks were great. Food was great. Everything was just phenomenal.
Nice.
Good. Yeah. I'm glad you got to experience that and everything. And I know you've said it. You said it in the interview with Shayne on there already, but we all know how excited you are. The fact that you painted your hair white. So love that.
Yeah. When Troy said jump, you say how high.
Right. Going into the game, though, I discussed a little bit, even though I was a little boogered up, as some would say, to Joe after. had a nice conversation outside the bar while I was trying my best to hold it together. But we did come across a couple of good talk points outside of there as to play calling, what we're still doing wrong, potentially what we can still work on as a team. We got a lot of Cam, he's a legend. Cam is a legend.
Yep. Absolutely.
We were really talking about like stuff that we need to just kind of fix up and what is getting fixed, what is moving in the right way, and going 0-2 to 2-2 now, and we can push next week versus Baltimore. What did you see last night that you think is a good step forward, and what could potentially still need some work? For myself, real quick, I'm just going to say the offensive line is really starting to connect in a better way. It's not as near as what we were at game one, to where everybody was a little confused and such. You still see a little problems here and there, but the difference between yesterday and game one is it's almost like they finally got it together a little bit. So I'm excited to see what they push line wise. And if they tighten up and we give off 15 sacks in the first 2 games, and then we give 23, 24, 25 sacks, whatever, the rest of the season, like that's the total number. Hey, I'm perfectly fine with that. That means that he's back there slinging it.
So Greg thinks play calling might have been a weakness. What's your weakness?
Say again?
Greg thinks play calling might have been a little questionable at times. What was yours then, going off of that before we kicked to Tyler?
No, it was just definitely that. It was the questionable. With me and Joe were talking big time about that, with especially my dad, because my dad is a massive person about talking about the play calling. But we were just basically saying about how there's certain times to where you have the ball in your possession, and instead of a drop-off pass or instead of a run up the middle, which Mixon was eating last night for sure. But there's something where you got better than what he was the first 3. Better than
definitely. Yeah.
He was doing decent compared to getting shut down a little bit, and that was because of our line as well. But looking into it, and you're seeing how Higgins was eating, and you're seeing that Chase is doing Chase, and Chase is getting double teamed and triple teamed, and he's still finding ways to do it. And Boyd is always clutch, but we need to start really, like, you see the opportunities we gave Higgins yesterday, and Higgins take it and he'll go far. I mean, you watch him break a tackle or two and he's heading down there, what did he end up with? It was like 124 and a tutty, something like that, 126.
I've got 124, 7 catches and a touchdown. So you were right.
I mean, he made plays. And so if we continue to let our playmakers make plays, we will continue to keep getting W's. And so that's my main thing is play calling. You got to know exactly Crypt Keeper situational. You got to know what you're in, what you're doing, and how you need to play it. And don't be safe. Get greedy, fight, because they're not going to play it safe on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, Tyler.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much all going to be talking about the play calling or the offense at least. But for me, it seems like we're getting a little bit more creative now, and I think Zach's getting a little bit more. Maybe not just Zach, but like the offense is getting more comfortable behind the line now that they've proved that, hey, after the first 2 games of giving up 13 sacks and only giving up 1 last night, maybe we can try some of these more elaborate plays that we had. And we saw that in, what was that, that was the third quarter when Tyler Boyd ended up throwing to, I can't remember who he hit.
Jamal Chopson.
But it seemed like they did try to open up the playbook a little bit, but we still hit that lull, in the second and the third quarter where we could have really put our foot down on their throats early in that game and, just kind of coasted a little bit in the second half. But unfortunately, we just kind of disappeared offensively. So I'm not sure what it is yet. I want to go back and watch last night's game, as far as broadcast wise, but
me too.
Yeah, that's my main concern right now is just the offense disappearing in the middle of the game.
Now, do you agree with the line as kind of your positive thing that's moved forward?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's night and day difference between game 1 and game 4. I mean, like I said, 1 sack, Burrow's able to navigate the pocket like he was last year, but it wasn't like he was doing it every play. It was just like when it did happen, we was able to see the Burrow that we had last year rather than, the Pittsburgh game where he was trying to do the same thing, doing the spin moves, getting out of, the way of defensive ends, and he's getting hit from behind. We just weren't seeing that. So, it's coming. There's a storm brewing, a positive storm brewing. But
talk to me, talking dirty to me now, Tyler.
I'm just hoping we put it all together for the Baltimore game.
Yes, and I love the Willie Anderson jersey. Shout out Willie Anderson and Isaac Curtis going into the Ring of Honor last night. That's awesome.
Had to rock it tonight.
Joe, what is your maybe step we've moved forward and maybe something still questionable?
So step we move forward in, I don't know how much the offensive line is playing better, but I don't know how much of it's that and how much of it is that Joe's making better decisions. I mean, there were so many times where I'm just yelling. I've never yelled for checkdowns so much at a football game before, because that was part of the big problem on about half of his sacks in the first 2 weeks is Joe kept on trying to make the big play, and he's holding the ball too damn long, and he's got Mixon open, 5 yards in front of him, but he's waiting to see if, Chase can break free. And he's making better choices. He was checking down to Hurst. Hurst had a great game. He's checking down to Mixon. He's getting some of these short routes and be like, all right, I don't care if it's 3rd and 6 and I hit if no one else is open deep beyond the first down marker, I'm at least going to throw it to someone, hope my guy can make a play to at least give us a chance, rather than holding the ball too long, taking a sack, and then that's when things get really disastrous. So I thought, Burrow's making a lot better decisions on when to check down. I'm very concerned about just Mixon in general. He doesn't look the same. He looks stiff. I don't know if it's a nagging ankle injury or.
Can I toss in his numbers as you continue here real quick for you? Because I know, because I thought maybe he had a little better game too, Travis, and I haven't pulled up. It's 24 carries, 61 yards. Yes, he had the touchdown, but that is atrocious, yards per carry. 24 for 60.
That must have been the alcohol talking for me then, because I thought he did a lot better than that.
And he had that great run in the end zone where he, muscled his way in, and that's what we remember. But a lot of the times he has been incredibly inefficient, not just
not breaking tackles that look like something's there.
Yeah, he's not making anyone miss. He looks hesitant. I don't know what it is. Hopefully it's not some injury that he's fighting off. I know his ankles bother him a little bit. I'm concerned about our run game. But like I said, I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if it's something wrong with Mixon or if it's the line or some combination of the two.
Hey, that got brought up at our lunch right before we went to the game, and just to throw this out there, it's looking as if Mixon is just running and just preparing to get tackled, and he's not running to go through people, unlike Samaje Perine right now, who is running, and he's running with a purpose, and you're seeing him break tackles and actually get at it, which is something to maybe look into in the next couple of games. I'm not saying sit our starter, of course.
No, Joe's still a great back,
But if we're looking at Perine, and he's coming in there and he's playing, like a Hunt and Chubb deal, and our Chubb isn't playing like he should be, we might have to go to our Hunt and make our run game a little more efficient so that we could throw them off and really make that big ball at the end. Because
sometimes you got to tuck the Chubb down a little bit, right?
Well,
I knew as I said that, I go, somebody's going to make a Chubb joke. I know it.
You just thought it would be me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Perine had one carry for 0 yards last night.
Yeah.
He one target, no catches. He had one good game against the Jets where he was 9 carries, 47 yards, 2 catches for 7 yards and a touchdown. Every other game, I mean, he hasn't been touching the ball that much.
Yeah. I was only saying that off of will of running, how he's running.
Yeah. The ball. Well, in that Jets
Mixon's
game,
Mixon's not really going for the holes. It seems like he's kind of just trying to get somewhere on his destined run. And Perine is, I'm gonna hit you with a truck, and you're gonna see if you can stop this truck.
Real quick, I will just say this with Mixon. After watching the rewatch, you see a couple of them where it seems like he's about to bust through and make a break for a big run, and he's getting shoestring tackles and stuff like that. Yeah. And I'll say the same thing about Mixon that I said about the defense. Once that dam breaks, it's going to be. I think he'll be back to his normal self. But he's having a couple of those where he's got the chance to. but he's getting shoestring tackled is what it is.
Yeah, he busted one of those for 50 yards, like on that one
Yeah.
he had to the outside. His stats look totally different, you know?
Yeah.
Even if it's just off of that one carry.
Yeah, it's a good point, Derek. It may not be a problem with anyone. It might just be a little bit of bad luck. And you know, those kind of bad luck have a way of normalizing as time goes on.
And Mixon, I mean, you can watch him year after year after year. If you look at his first half stats versus his second, if you like split them, it's unreal how either it's one way or the other with him. Either he'll start off super hot and then kind of die off towards the end of the year, or at the end of the year he'll put up 800-900 yards within 6 games. I mean, it's crazy.
I'll take that when we're making our big playoff push against these guys.
Yeah.
Like hey, it's fine right now, Mixon. Just keep doing you. You need to take a game off or two. If your ankle or something is hurting, we don't know that, but you know, if that is part of it, take a game or two off. So, Derek, did you have really a positive and negative from the game?
Yeah, I was just going to say positively, seeing the ball distributing, and like everyone else was saying, it seemed like Joe was really – he wasn't waiting for that big play to happen. He was just basically whichever man's open, he seemed to hit him, taking his checkdowns when he needed to. Like the one, it was an incomplete pass, but it was exactly what you wanted to see, where Burrow was trying to scramble in the pocket, and he saw that he was about to get a sack. He tossed the ball, tried to get it to Hayden Hurst, and Hayden it was just out of his outstretched hand. He wasn't able to pull the ball in. But seeing stuff like that, Burrow doing stuff like that, I really, really like to see it. And as far as the play calling goes, I will say this: there was a couple points where I was like, okay, like the fourth down call. At first, I'm like, that was questionable. You know, why would you do a swing pass? Or I can't remember, was it a swing pass or was it a toss to the outside? And then after a closer look, and I'm going back and watching it, I saw they all crushed into cover in case it was a sneak and stuff like that. So naturally, that was a good play call for what had happened. Something happened. A guy didn't catch his block, and then we wasn't able to do stuff like that.
I agree with Jerome. No more sweeps. They don't seem to work. They don't seem to work often enough to worry about them and doing them. And Jerome went out to eat with us. That's our dude. We love Jerome. So shout out Jerome.
Absolutely.
He knows that terrible experience we went through well, but we survived it together. We did it. So I'll say positive. I got to go back with Travis, and a lot of you guys said the line. The line is just playing so well. I believe Teddy Karras was mic'd up because Zim had shared some clip out there, a small portion, and I'm waiting to see that because that guy just seems like a ball of fun. Like I really hope we get him on here to smash a couple Miller Lights with him. So
he'll slam him to the forehead.
Oh, he was so pumped too. And if you guys saw the post-game speech where he's like, "We got a few days off," like he was pumped for that. And everyone in the locker room's pumped for it. Like, we're gonna get locked up.
Oh yeah,
he reminded me of like Will Ferrell in Old School. We're going to get their game.
Yeah, I'm hungover as hell this morning, and I see that, and I go, I need a beer.
Right? So shout out the offensive line. Shout out Ted Karras. Shout out Lael Collins, who we were quick to write off. He's played fairly well. Like I didn't see the PFF grades or anything, but he seemed to played well. Volson, say less, right? You don't hear much about him. Must mean he's doing pretty damn good for a rookie. So I'm loving it. Jonah, I didn't see Jonah do anything necessarily too awful, but like I haven't rewatched the whole thing. I watched like a little highlights today. That's what happens when you stay out, you have good time, you don't make it in till about 2:30 to your hotel room. That's the things that happen. You got a cat nap during the day. You got to do what you got to do. Okay. But so negative, I will go kind of with the play calling, but I will say it's just the red zone offense in general. I don't want to necessarily say it's just the play calling, but it's just efficiency in the red zone that concerns the hell out of me because we were one of the lower teams in the league last year with red zone efficiency. And I'm sure we're probably up, one of the last, I don't know that stat, but just from watching it, it seems like there's so many times we're down there and we're not getting in when we should. Like, I'm glad we got that touchdown with Hurst toward the end that kind of put the game away. That made a big difference. But overall, I think our red zone efficiency is not where it needs to be, not even close.
Yeah, well, shout out Hayden Hurst. the moment I take you off my fantasy team, maybe that's what it was. I just
it's your fault.
Personally, I couldn't have him on my fantasy team for him to score the touchdown. So that's what it was.
Yeah,
right. You suck.
Take any other Bengals off the fantasy team too.
Yeah, put them all off your team, Derek. If you got any, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, off.
Drop them.
Drop. Straight drop.
Exactly. And that's another thing too. Joe Burrow, like if you look at his stats, like watching the game, you're kind of like it didn't seem like he'd done as much as and maybe that's because he was taking what was given and stuff like that and just distributing the ball. And then you look and he's got what
287,
87, yeah. And 3 touchdowns. It's like, good Lord. Like he did a hell of a job.
2 touchdowns, 271, 20 for 31. I would just say he had several big plays though. Like he had the 54 yarder or whatever to Higgins. He had the big play to Chase. He had a big pass downfield to Boyd. Like and then he didn't get the yardage for the one pass to Chase. A second one, that was the one Tyler mentioned earlier, where they threw it to Boyd, who then threw it to Chase for probably like another 25, 30-yard gain on that one. Let's just go around and give like our Player of the Game award for this game. We'll start with you, Travis, and kick it around.
Before I answer that, I do want to get one more thing though, because at the very beginning of the season, I was extremely concerned because without the preseason game and seeing Joe Burrow looked a little frazzled back there, threw 4 interceptions the first game. He has yet to throw a 1 since, and he has been a lot smarter in his passing and a lot more precise. I feel as if he is locked in and he is ready to go. And I don't think he's going to throw any more than like 2 the rest of the year because he's making sure that if he's going to try it, it's going to be in a perfect pocket.
Yeah, offensively, defensively, we're back in the positive margin, right? In the turnover differential.
Yeah,
I believe that's correct. Yeah,
plus one after being 5 down from after game 1.
Week 1. Yep.
I think Bro just likes a challenge.
Yeah.
He's like, this shit's too easy.
Screw this week 1. We're just gonna go for it.
He needs that chip on his shoulder, you know? And that's why I was never worried about him. I'm like, this guy, he's a dog and he's gonna come back and he's gonna keep coming at you. He's not gonna stop. He's not going to get too down about a bad game or 2 bad games. He's going to come out and he's going to get locked in and kick your ass, rip your fucking throat out. Don't fuck with it.
Yeah, and you get him. You tell him. My player. Can we do a little fun thing and go offensive and defensive?
Yeah, sure.
Both sides of the ball. All right. So offensive, I'm 100% going to go my man Hayden Hurst because he. Especially after the interview today, when it almost made me cry when I saw what he said about he finally found his home, found a coaching staff that they able to play him right.
Love that.
And the guys, I also have to pick him because all night last night there was 4 guys above me. All night, they just kept calling me. Oh wow.
He's too blackout to remember.
Yep. Blackout Buffalo Trace Trav.
You know, sometimes you just say a sentence and you think it sounds good, and then you have Dale next to you that's just like, hey, what did you say?
No, it wasn't me. That was Derek.
It was okay. There was 4 fans that were not the bro behind me, but the bro above them, and they kept calling me Hayden Hurst all fucking night. It was so funny. They were just like Hayden Hurst, and I'm like, I turn around, they're all staring at me, and I'm like, is that my name? Is that who I am tonight? They're like, all right, okay.
Sure,
I definitely want Hayden for offense and defense. I'm 100% going to go Von Bell because Von Bell, that first one was an elite thing, and I think he paid a little homage to the shit talking that was going on with Tyreek and Eli, and he said, all right, I got you too, don't worry. He said, I'm going to take care of this as well. You're not getting shit on me either.
Tyler, what's your thoughts?
All right. If we're going offense, defense, I think the obvious one on offense was T. Higgins, 7 catches, 124 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, that touchdown was a huge momentum shifter for us. So, yeah, the stats just speak for itself there. And then on defense, I'm going to go Logan Wilson on that. Huge 4th down. Was that 4th down stop that he stopped Raheem Morstead, or is that a 3rd down?
It was 3rd and short. Yeah.
3rd and short. I mean, that was
because they kicked the field goal after that.
Where he stopped a grown man running full sprint, just stood him up.
A huge moment there. So I mean, there was moments in that fourth quarter where it was just like, oh shit. I felt like there's people that you could kind of sense as like, oh shit, here we go again. This is where we kind of lose it a little bit. But like Logan stepped up to the plate right there and said, no, not today. This is where we shut this shit down. And
and I believe they missed that field goal too, right? Was that the one they missed?
Was it?
They blocked the field goal. They missed an extra point, I thought.
Or the blocked field goal. That's what I meant. Yeah.
What about you, Joe?
Travis had both of mine, but I'll change my offense one. But I'll give you a different reason for Von Bell. I was like glued to the big screen where it had, the game stats. If you looked pretty much throughout that whole game, like the teams were even in like every category. Rushing yards, passing yards, time of possession. The only difference was 2 turnovers, and both of them Von Bell. And that was so great because he's not, probably in the top 5 of, our defensive standouts that we talk about very often. But he's so solid. He's great. And, we need guys like that to, show up and have big games once in a while. We need to be well-rounded. So I thought that was great for him to step up like that. And you're going to think I'm weird, but I'll explain why. Jamar Chase, I was watching the whole time how they were doing their coverage. And every time I said, watch the safety. He's following Jamar. He just is standing right over Jamar every single time. And you know what Joe was doing? I was like, okay, I won't throw to Jamar at all the first half, basically. And I'll just carve you up with other people. And just having a player like that that's demanding that kind of attention is so huge for other guys to succeed. And I just think it's really underrated how much attention the Dolphins defense was playing him up.
Yeah, was that a single high safety or a 2 high safety there on the T. Higgins touchdown where literally both of those guys were on Jamar's side, just leaving T one-on-one wide open.
Well, I heard on Locked On that they were doing some like 2 high safeties, but they were like kind of like disguising it where they were like playing. They looked like they were playing just one back, but the other safety was just playing up close to the line of scrimmage, and then they drop back or drop into the flats. So they were doing some weird defensive schemes that I think it took a while for us to figure out. But for the most part, what they were presenting pre-snap was 1 high safety over Jamar. Like, don't throw it over here. We're not going to let you beat us with Jamar. And then they just gave T. Higgins against Xavier Howard one-on-one. And I think Xavier Howard was banged up too into that game. It's just like, that's why he just ate.
I do want to throw this out there because I saw this earlier, and shout out Greg, always with the knowledge and bringing up new things to talk about Von Bell and how important he is and how he's one of the, I would say, most underrated on our defense. He brought up that here's an interesting fact. People talk about Bates in the last year of his deal, but nobody's talking about Bell in his last year of his deal. At this point, I would sign Bell before Bates.
Yeah. I mean,
it's definitely cheaper.
I think I've kind of mentioned that on here a little bit, that I could see him as somebody who gets an extension coming up because we're not going to have Bates, and Bell is playing so well, and he's a team leader, and he's a captain the last couple of years. That's the kind of guy you want to keep on your team. So if you can go ahead and work out a couple extra years on his deal, let's get it done. Yeah,
he's steady Eddie. I mean, he never really has a down game, and he's always consistently what you need him to be. But Dale, what's your thoughts on?
Did you give your offensive and defensive?
No, you want me to go first? I'll say. Obviously, my defensively was Von Bell, so I'm going to switch it up here a little bit. I'll go offensively. I'm going to have to say, did somebody say Hayden Hurst already? Because
Travis.
Travis did. Okay, I got to go agree with him on that because Hayden Hurst it seemed like he's starting to get more into what we need him to be. He doesn't need to be that Kyle Pitts, that number 1 possession guy that every time. He just, whenever you need him, he's there. So that's what I got to go Hayden Hurst for my offensively. And instead of going defense, I'm going to go to special teams real quick. And no, I'm not talking Evan McPherson.
We hit a 57-yarder.
I know, I understand that, but this is just for one play and one play only.
Yep.
Our guy, Marcus Bailey.
Oh, okay.
He got the huge stop. I don't know if you guys saw the All-22 that showed, I forget who was showing it today, but Raheem Mostert was going, I mean, he had the biggest hole ever, and this guy was going to be gone for a touchdown on one of these special teams plays. Marcus gets him in the freaking vice grips and does not let him go and drops him. And for that, I'm saying Marcus Bailey, you get a game ball. I'm giving a game ball to Marcus Bailey right there.
Well, so I'll switch it up too, just to spread some love. So I'll go offensive. I'll go Ted Karras, the man making it work in the middle, sporting Bengals and Bruce shirts. You know, that's bonus points with me already, right off the rip. Team leader, going to be on the mic'd up this week for those guys. Gave the speech, probably crushing beers as we're talking. So cheers to that, Teddy K. And defensively, I'll switch it up as well. And I will say Josh Tupou. And it's not because Tua got injured. It's because we needed somebody to step in for Reader and at least play solid. And he's no DJ Reader. Don't get me wrong. But that was a big sack. Like, I did not want Tua to get injured. I'm not saying nothing about that. But that was a huge play, and that was a big man chasing him down to even get to him to make that play.
Yeah.
And at that point, we weren't really getting to him much, like as far as sacks. So I thought that was a great play by Tupou. And he's just one of those guys that's always filled in, always done his job when he's called upon, always stepped up when needed to. So shout out to Tupou. He gets a game ball. Teddy K gets a game ball. And Tyler?
I got
gets
one
a game
more.
ball.
I got one more. I got one more.
All right, give it out game balls.
Got one more game ball because I think this is being severely overlooked because it was a big deal all week long. Game ball to the UC student who recorded the Dolphins practice at Neyland Stadium. Because apparently that was a big enough deal to where they was running fake plays with 12 men and basically threw out an entire day's worth of practice. Game ball to whoever that was.
Shout out
to that
Barstool,
guy.
Cincinnati, right there.
Yeah.
That's so good. Oh my gosh.
That was a great one.
I don't know if you guys saw it.
It's illegal. Don't do it because the NFL is investigating. It was terrible.
Before we get out of here, too, somebody mentioned what?
I want to mention this one because he had the block on the.
I thought for sure someone would mention that.
Was it extra point or field goal?
You know what?
Field goal.
It was a field goal. One extra game ball goes out to Jeffrey Gunner. Jeff, hey, listen, it's in the mail.
All right, Travis, what'd you have?
Oh, I was just gonna say that talking about to end off the Tua injury and such. We know it was an atrocious thing that happened, but it was a clean sack. He just got hit weird.
Yeah.
I saw a video today that blew my mind. And I always find this stuff kind of very interesting. Very drunk guy like myself last night was getting interviewed by another random fan and was asked the question about Tua, and the guy said word for word, like 3 minutes left in the second quarter, he was gonna get hit laying on the white in the middle. I mean, he play by play called it. He said he's playing his last play of football tonight. Like, just it was like a cocky fan thing, of course. Made a huge statement, and it was word for word. I mean, everything was. I was like, this is uncomfortable to hear. So, like when the video was going on, they were like, he called the injury. I was like, no, we didn't call the injury. That drunk dude over there called the injury, to say the least. And we got cats on the tables here.
Pussy everywhere.
I'll tell you what, that really took the wind out of the sails for me for the whole energy for that night, because like Tua is probably the one quarterback in the league other than Burrow that I'm really rooting for the guy. He's been through so much adversity. The Dolphins, have constantly flirted with every quarterback with a pulse that might be available.
True.
I mean, this guy's freaking ego. It's amazing it's even intact. And he's, starts to finally, look like, has a breakout game. And then this crap happens. Like you just feel for him. And just on a, human being level,
for sure.
I've never been at a game where a guy is being carried out motionless on a stretcher where he's not moving. I mean, that was very scary, and it sounds like
his hands is good. That image of his hands is gonna scar me. Yeah, I didn't like. I watched that today, and when I saw that, I was like, man, that is.
When I saw it, I had it because I didn't see it yesterday either. When I saw it today, I was like, oh, I wish I didn't see that. Like, it's just
I'm glad so far it's not looking like a very bad thing. But if he is not resting up and maybe even sits out next week, I don't know what we're doing.
Do what's best for that. Yeah, do what's best for that for the long term. Like you've got a franchise quarterback. Like I think he's already shown that this year. Like you've got a guy. Like sometimes you might have to lose a game or two here and there for the long term future.
Well, and their backup isn't even that bad. It's not like they're going with somebody that's like a D quarterback. Like,
Teddy's
a very valid. Like that's why I was talking to my dad during the game. I was like, I don't even feel comfortable winning this game. Like I wanted to beat Tua, and he was like, you got to pay attention to who's on this backfield. I was like, Teddy's not. He's not a normal quarterback. He's valiant. He can play ball. So if you win, you win. This is an actual W.
I don't know about everybody else where they sat, but I know Joe and Tyler, you guys kind of sat close to where Derek and I do. There was a very audible Tua chant for him coming off the field, awesome. Like to show love and respect for him as a human being.
I heard it from up where I was. And I heard
game balls to the Bengals fan base right there.
Well, it's just being a human, and trying to show him some love of like, hey, we hope you're okay. It's a game at the end of the day. Yep. Don't ever take it too seriously. It's not life and death. Yep. Like, that's a long-term injury for that guy. Like, so.
You imagine being that fan when that hit happened? He goes, "Oh shit, I didn't mean that. I swear to God, I didn't mean that.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
hey, what kind of power do I have?"
Yeah, you're like, "Oh, hey, no."
He's like X-ray vision. On a moment.
He goes, "Give me a lottery ticket, damn it! I'm going to win tonight."
Yeah, spends whole life savings, thinking he's going to hit the Mega Millions. Nope.
Well, hey man, like our friend Ted said, we get a couple days off, and
let's rest up, boys.
We're gonna enjoy this Sunday, watching it and enjoying the rest of the league beat the shit out of each other while we just sit back and relax. Maybe spend some time with our family because we are also busy people like the Bengals, and we have to take our time on Sundays. And now we might not have to. We might can just sit and relax, watch some football, go do something else. We don't have to worry.
Shout out London football, baby, because we got football from like 9:30 in the morning till like 11:30 at night. I am loving it.
So excited.
Red Rifle starting quarterback.
All right, Tyler, tell us about the Morning Prowl this week at noon with Mike Sands, and we'll let you out of here. Then we'll go to Joe, and then we'll kind of wrap this thing up.
Yeah, so Sunday morning at 9 a.m., Morning Prowl has Mike Sands, and we actually just added a late guest here, Gab Goody. She made her first appearance to Paul Brown Stadium, or Paycor, whatever you want to prefer. She made her first appearance at the stadium Thursday night, so we wanted to get a neutral view on, game day atmosphere and what she thought of the experience. So we just added her today. Nice. So yeah, if you want to check us out Sunday morning at 9 a.m., the Morning Prowl on YouTube.
Will Matt be doing another segment in his pink robe?
We're giving him the week off.
Oh, he earned it. He earned it.
He'll be back for the Ravens game.
All right.
Real quick, did she at least wear white?
I did not pay attention. I have no idea what she wore.
Well, find that out for us, Tyler.
Who gives a shit, Derek? All right, Tyler. Thanks for your time.
You failed us with not wearing.
I had a white hat on. Thanks, Tyler. Night, brother.
Thanks, Tyler.
Night, Tyler.
All right, Joe, you got anything you want to plug, and we'll let you out of here?
You know me. I never have anything to plug. I keep saying that, and one of these days I am going to have something to plug.
Well, Houday Joe,
ideas I have.
Yes, Houday
but
Joe
I just
on
haven't
Twitter.
had the time to execute them. But no, you can find me on Twitter. It's at Houday Joseph, or if you just search Houday Joe, you'll find me. At Houday Joe on TikTok. I'll post some stuff on there. But yeah, man, I just love hanging out with you guys, and
A lot of times,
talking
if
Bengals.
you see us at the tailgates, you're going to see Joe. We're
I'm
usually out together
nearby. So it was great to finally meet you in person, Travis. It was an absolute pleasure. I had a blast with you.
So much fun with you, man.
You're
Thanks for dealing with my drunk ass at 1:30 in the morning.
You don't know how drunk I was because you were.
I even gave him a beer. My dad fought for, I'm not shitting you, he fought for an hour at least to get some beers in those bars because they were so fucking packed. He finally gets the beers. Joe's right there. I just hand him a beer. I'm like, there you go.
Your dad's like, okay. What is wrong with you?
You son of a bitch. But yeah, 2 day guys. Right. Always a pleasure being on.
All right, love you, bro.
Love you.
Yeah. Guys, definitely another great episode, which is even a little longer than we usually go, but we're having a great time talking about a wonderful night. And I want to say thank you, everybody, again for welcoming us and myself as part of your family and part of your group, regardless of what group you're a part of. And
we're all Bengals fans.
I know, right?
Absolutely.
Rate, review, subscribe on audio platforms and on YouTube. Make sure you guys are dropping comments in, not just the live chat, but drop comments in. It can help us push the algorithm to get sent out to a bunch of Bengals fans as well. Clearly, you guys know we're doing some cool stuff. And if you don't mind, Dale, I want to plug in real quick. I hosted a adult wiffle ball tournament just last week, and I just got the video done, ready to go, and it will be put up on Monday. If you want to enjoy a nice, fun little thing, it's on my other podcast page, Boogered Up. But Monday at 3:30, that's going to be up, and I'm looking.
And we'll share it. We'll share that. Just remind us, and you can whatever. Yeah. We'll share that on Bengals and Brews Twitter page as well. So if you guys want to be part of the wiffle ball tournament that Travis is going to have, make sure you sign up.
I already had it. The video.
It's the video from the one you just sent.
It's the final product. Yeah.
I thought maybe you had another thing coming out.
No,
for some reason I was thinking no kickball, no dodgeball, not yet, but maybe in the future, everybody.
Quick shout out, Birmingham Meadery. I was trying to figure out a way to put this in there throughout the whole show, but we was just vibing, flowing, everything was going great. And so we're going to do it at the end here. Birmingham Meadery, 15% off.
Bengal
using
Brew.
Promo code Bengal Brew. They got some great stuff. Hey, they got some really good stuff that's just coming out. I think within, a couple of days ago, they just came out with a really smoky, smoky flavor. So I'm excited to try that one. But yeah, Birmingham Meadery, 2 or more bottles get you 15% off some delicious Birmingham mead.
See all this dancing I'm doing? This is what it feels to be on Birmingham.
Absolutely.
All right. Who day, everybody? Love y'all.
Get it, Cincinnati jungle fitted. Who they in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping, nasty natty, yeah we live it. Lit the crowd, hit the city loud, yeah we feasting now. Fit the pounce, make the city howl. Now we feasting now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on them. Cincinnati, we gon' rise in jungle, we unite and tripping orange and black and white. Who day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move rocking on? Now who wanna move crossing on? Now who wanna move out on?
So how long before we do this again?